Jeremy Hunt warns Tory MPs against trying to oust PM. Jeremy Hunt has appealed to Tory MPs to get behind Liz Truss as she battles to restore credibility with backbenchers. A series of damaging U-turns over her tax-cutting plans has led some MPs to talk privately about how to remove her from office. Her new chancellor told the BBC a fresh leadership campaign was the last thing that people really want. But a senior backbench Conservative MP has called for Ms Truss to go as Prime Minister, saying the game is up. Mr Hunt replaced Kwasi Kwarteng on Friday after Ms Truss fired the former chancellor. His sacking followed market turmoil in response to £45 billion of unfunded tax cuts included in the mini-budget. He will meet Ms Truss for crisis talks at her Chequers country retreat later, as they aim to thrash out tax and spending plans due to be announced on 31 October. The new chancellor told Laura Kuenssberg he was not ruling out further reversals of tax cuts from last month's mini-budget, adding he was not taking anything off the table. In a series of humiliating U-turns, Ms Truss abandoned plans to scrap the top income tax rate and reversed a planned freeze to corporation tax she had put at the center of her Tory leadership campaign. According to reports in the Sunday Times, she is also preparing to delay by a year her 1p cut to the basic rate of income tax. The Treasury has not confirmed the reports, adding, "We cannot speculate on any tax changes outside of a fiscal event." Asked whether he could rule out scrapping more of the tax cuts, Mr Hunt said he wanted to keep as many of them as I possibly can. "We are going to have to take some very difficult decisions both on spending and on tax," he said in an interview with Laura Kuenssberg, which was recorded on Saturday. "Taxes are not going to go down as quickly as people thought, and some taxes are going to go up," he added. "So it's going to be very, very difficult, and I think we have to be honest with people about that." Meanwhile, in a further blow to the Prime Minister, US President Joe Biden has criticized tax cuts from her mini-budget. In an unusual intervention, he told reporters during a campaign visit that the outcome was predictable and "I wasn't the only one that thought it was a mistake." He added that he had disagreed with the idea of cutting taxes on the super wealthy, but it was up to the UK to make that judgment, not me. In his BBC interview, Mr Hunt said the government's debt reduction plan, due in 2 weeks' time, would be a very big fiscal statement, and that every government department would be asked to make savings. However, he insisted the changes would not be anything like the period of austerity which began in 2010, when predecessor George Osborne oversaw large cuts in public spending. Despite the U-turns, Mr Hunt insisted Ms Truss remained committed to her goal of promoting economic growth. "But she had changed the way we're going to get there. She's listened, she's changed, she's been willing to do that most difficult thing in politics, which is to change tack," he added. The game is up. Under current party rules, Ms Truss is safe from a formal leadership challenge for a year, but newspaper reports suggest some Tory MPs have already begun talks about how to force her from office. Tactics reportedly under consideration include submitting no-confidence letters in a bid to force party bosses into a rule change, or changing party rules to allow MPs to bypass members and pick a new leader themselves. Asked whether she could survive as the Prime Minister, former Minister Crispin Blunt told Channel 4, "No, I think the game is up and it's now a question as to how the succession is managed. If there is such a weight of opinion in the parliamentary party that we have to have a change, then it will be affected."